Right, we're all here now. Who has something to say?
I have a story to tell, something I've been wanting to say for a long time.
So, what's it about?
It's about children who were visited by, well, visitors of a most unusual kind.
Talking aliens here?
No, we're talking ghosts.
You mean kid stories?
Oh, this story is not for children. It's about them. And the protagonist was one of those rare adults who enter their secret world.
Is this story yours, miss?
No, it's not really mine, but the accounting of it was left in a diary, which I found after he died.
Who's he?
The one who wrote the diary.
One who died?
Why don't you let her tell the story?
Yeah, let her speak.
It all began with an interview.
How long ago?
1964, 65, maybe even 1966.
It's a diary without dates.
She never wrote them down. None of them.
I'll send her in. You.
It would be her first interview for a job she would never have taken had it been her second or her third, but it wasn't. It was the first. And we all know what can happen the first time.
Miss Gooding, sit down. The job was quite simple. 2 children in a big house in need of a governess. Are you interested?
Well, yes, of course. I wouldn't be here, would I? Are they your children?
I'm their guardian. Parents were killed a couple of years ago.
I'm sorry. They weren't sent to schools.
The boy's at school. Little girl is too young, I think.
Is there anyone else to help look after them?
Mrs. Gross, the housekeeper, she's been with the place for years. You must like children very much to dedicate yourself in this way.
Like them? Mr. Cooper, you have to love them.
I'm sure.
Don't you? Love children.
I can't hear you. Come closer. Sit there.
I was wondering whether you love children.
I don't understand them. They seem so alien with their bulging eyes, as if they know everything.
You were a child once.
Yes, I suppose I was. But if I met myself now, as I was then, I wouldn't recognize myself. I'm sure you remember your childhood vividly.
Much of it, yes.
And no doubt it helps you when you teach them.
And protect them.
From what?
From things that could harm them.
Such as?
The influences of modern society.
The influences of modern society.
Don't worry. Bly House is so far out that it's beyond modern society.
Is it very far away?
Location's its best feature. No one will bother you. They'd never find the place.
Mr. Cooper.
At that moment, she knew she should leave, right out the door. But he desperately needed her to help him. And she was the sort who needed to help others ever since she was a child. That's why she was there, and why she stayed right now To help him. To help her, really. Don't you think, Dr. Grusky?
I want to know about you, your background, your family, your father.
Well, my father was a minister.
A minister's daughter. Lucky. What's a girl like you doing in this sort of work?
What exactly do you mean, someone like me?
So young. Attractive.
Mr. Cooper, if this is a question of my training, I feel like...
It's just that I need someone very special for this particular situation.
What do you mean?
2 children, alone, in a big house, in need of a governess.
I see.
Can you help me?
Yes, of course. I wouldn't be here, would I?
There's one other request, rather an important one. That you never bother me. Unless it's an emergency. Even then, I'd rather you handled it yourself.
You mean I've got the job?
Standard contract. You're in charge. Mrs. Gross won't like it, but she'll get used to it. Just as you'll get used to her. She's French, you see.
Mr. Cooper, it helps me to know. Was there a previous governess?
Yes. I have a very good feeling about your being there. I'll come and visit soon. But don't tell the children because they'll just ask when, and I hate to disappoint them.
Yes, sir.
Call me Jack. Good luck.
Things were moving too quickly. Jack called her the next morning to persuade her to leave that very day. For the children, of course. And she agreed. She felt unprepared for what was to come. After all, it was her first position. How little she knew. How right she was.
Good day.
Welcome to Bly House.
Are you Mrs. Gross?
Madame Gross. We're so glad you're here.
And is this Flora?
Yes, it is indeed.
Hello, Flora.
Go and give Miss Jenny a kiss.
What was that?
Her butterfly kiss. Miles taught her.
I didn't do something wrong, did I?
Oh, no, she's shy. You'll soon be inseparable. I promise. I'll show you your room.
Dear Claire, it seems like yesterday we finished school. I hope your first appointment is going as smoothly as mine. Last night I had the strangest dream. I was actually living in a storybook. One both beautiful and ghastly. Then the book became an old house. And then a ship drifting at sea. But the strange thing was, I was at the helm. So now I'm at the helm of something. Even if it is just an old house. As soon as this letter is finished, I'm going to go off and explore it.
Just putting my telephone back. I'm sorry, that Flora, she's always stealing things. I was just coming to say dinner's ready.
I like her enough. I don't know yet. Miles will like her more. What do you think? Don't worry, he's coming home. Then we'll all be together again.
Flora? Who are you speaking to?
No one, Miss Jenny.
Voila, roast beef, elephant style. With all the trimmings. Flora's favorite. Oh, I forgot the béarnaise.
I'll go and get it.
Have you ever had roast beef elephant style?
No. Flora has such excellent manners.
And Miles too.
Is he as charming as she is?
You'll be carried away.
I must admit I was slightly carried away by their uncle.
You're not the first, and you won't be the last.
Why did the last governess leave?
Oh, I imagine it's not easy for a young lady in her prime to be alone with only us for company.
Oh, Madame Gross, you're already such delightful company.
Thank you.
Here we are. Madam Gross, you've got the nose upside down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Upside down, I
don't understand, Flora.
If the nose is upside down, it means bad luck.
And there's no room for bad luck at Bly House.
What does this mean? Miles has been expelled.
Oh, mon Dieu. I don't know, miss. What do the schoolmasters say?
That he's an injury to the other children.
Little Miles an injury. He's only 8.
Says that his influence is corrupting, bringing into question his prior domestic experience.
Don't look at me, miss. He spent all his time with Miss Jessel
And who?
and Quint,
And who was he?
the master's valet, caretaker, driver, and otherwise everything.
Miss Jessel allowed him to fraternize with Miles?
Why not? He's a boy without a father. And Quint paid some attention.
But that's not suitable for a boy of Miles's position.
Maybe, miss. But it's life.
You've never known Miles to be bad?
I wouldn't say never. A boy without spirit.
Isn't a real boy at all. Yes, I've heard that theory too.
Nothing wrong with a little fire in a youngster.
Yes, but not if it's corrupting others.
Are you afraid he'll corrupt you? Miles is good. You'll see that for yourself. There must have been some mistake.
Yes.
What are you going to say to his uncle?
Nothing. He insists not to be bothered.
And to the boy?
Nothing. He's just a boy.
Then I'll stand by you. We'll see this out. Together.
Will Miles get to the station before we do?
If we don't hurry, Flora, he just might. Fingers and toes.
Do as Miss Jenny says, Flora.
Mrs. Gross, one thing before I meet Miles. Who was the lady before me? Tell me about her.
She was a young girl, nice and pretty, just like you. You'd better hurry. Meet her soon.
I'm coming, Flora. And why did she leave?
Miss Jenny! It's going to be late.
Move over, Flora. In you go.
Miles is going to get there before we do. Where is he? Miles! Oh, Miles!
Hello, Miles.
Hello, Miss Jenny.
You.
I don't remember that trick.
Miles, this is wonderful.
Why don't you take a picture of me?
Right, now where's your luggage?
But I didn't bring any.
Then they'll be sending it, I'm sure.
I won't be here that long, will I? Oh, no. Oh, they must have been too old.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Miles. Come along, then.
Schools always make life difficult.
Oh, well, you'd know, wouldn't you? Detention home, wasn't it?
Did he know he was expelled?
Didn't she discuss it with him?
No. He was just a little boy. She felt he would tell her in his own time. And of course, she could always contact the school directly, as she was now in charge.
Come in.
I didn't have time to do the room. Would I be intruding to ask what's worrying you, miss?
Miles. And his schoolwork, now that I have to teach him.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do fine.
Mrs. Gross,
Yes.
my predecessor, was she a good teacher to the children?
In a way. Miss Jessel taught less from books and more from life.
What do you mean?
You know, walks in the country, little games. But children need books too. I'm sure you'd give them plenty to read.
Yes. Was she fired?
I'm not one for telling tales, miss.
Yes, but it's you and I that must tend to this situation, so...
What situation?
Miles has returned from school. It may have some relevance, don't you see?
Since you must know, she took ill.
Here at Bly.
You could say started here. She went home for the holidays and never returned.
Why not?
Because finally, we heard that she died.
How?
I don't know, miss. And I never wanted to know. But we mustn't speak of it, miss. The children.
Yes, of course.
Good night.
Dear Claire, nothing we learned in school has prepared me for the things I'm now experiencing. At school, so much time was spent on how to instill self-reliance in children, but so little tuition on how to find it within ourselves. So I often find myself the pupil.
Finished. But I haven't yet. This isn't going to work, Miss Jenny.
Well, we'll just have to adjust the lessons a bit more. And I don't think lessons should be all work. We can play games sometimes, too. Do you like games, Flora?
Yes, Miss Jenny.
I liked games, too, when I was a little girl. Yes, Miles?
It just seems silly thinking of you as a little girl. I will get different lessons from Flora, won't I?
Some, yes.
He's a boy and I'm not.
Really, Flora, it's more because...
But boys should know some things that girls don't, shouldn't they?
Possibly. But for now, I'd like you to get out your grammar books. The same books, and we'll see how you both write. Come on.
Miss Jenny, let's write letters to Uncle so he'll come and visit.
Flora, sit down.
Yes, please, Miss Jenny. Please.
All right, but short ones. Remember, he's a very busy man.
Are you all right, Miss Jenny?
Yes. Bring me your letters.
Don't you think it's good to write? When do you think he'll come?
As soon as business allows. You know, these letters are far too good to be posted. I'm going to give them both A's and keep them here.
There were things about herself she hadn't listed on her resume.
Excuse me.
Things she certainly hadn't told Jack Cooper. But she shouldn't be blamed for this. For she didn't yet know about them herself.
Pleasant dreams, Flora.
Night, Flora. Good night, Mom. See you in my dreams.
A nice clean bed for you, Miles.
Thank you. Miss Jenny,
Yes?
will you undress me?
Of course not. You're a big boy.
Jessie used to.
You were much younger then, Miles.
No, I wasn't.
I'm sure there was no one to undress you at school. So off with your clothes, say your prayers, and then to bed. Chop, chop.
What on earth do I need prayers for?
Well, prayers will help you get to heaven.
I don't want to go to heaven.
Well, everyone wants to go to heaven.
Not me.
Well, then you should pray for the ones you love.
I don't need to pray for them. I have magic.
You have what? Magic. Well, Mr. Magic, you can say your prayers and then bed. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, bless this bed that we lay on. If we should die before we wake, we pray to God our soul to take. Amen. Come on. There we go. Night-night.
Good night. Oh, Miss Jenny. Can I sleep with you?
Did you sleep with Miss Jessel too?
Sometimes, when it was cold.
Well, it's not cold tonight.
Jessel used to wear that.
Miles, you really must learn to knock.
Will you be around her other things too?
When did you see her in this?
I just did.
Go to your room immediately.
Yes, Miss Jenny.
And take that costume off.
Miss Jenny?
Yes?
I think it suits you better.
That night, she had her first dream.
Can you help me?
And it would be the first of many. Bly House was already having its effect on her.
To keep this hallway clean now that someone's living here.
Would you mind if I joined you? I'd like to see the house in daylight.
Of course not. Strange old place, isn't it? Must have been built by a madman.
Yes, it is a bit spooky.
I'll be your gal. But I can't promise anything more spooky than a spider or two.
Don't go too far away. I might get lost.
Gross, what's this?
It's a carpet.
No. No, this shape is like an animal.
Oh, it's just a stain from a dead bird, I think. Quint used to stuff things. Birds, squirrels, anything that twitched.
He stuffed them.
Oh, don't worry, they were dead first. Taxidermy, we call it.
So do we.
Miles wanted to keep some in his room, but I never allowed him. The smell.
Why did they bring it in still bleeding?
I don't know, but they certainly left the stain for me to clean up. And that stain never would come up.
It was the first time she had known space and freedom in her small, smothered life. Something that is often a disguise for a trap. One she was actually laying for herself, gathering and crouching, waiting to spring like a beast. In the period between tea and nap time, her private hour, as she liked to call it, she wrote her letters.
It's the strangest thing, Claire. But I often think of the pleasure my work here must give to the one who first pressured me. I'm actually beginning to think myself a remarkable woman, all alone here, tending to the matters at hand. And I sometimes imagine what it might be like if he were to suddenly appear.
What on earth are you doing up here?
There was somebody up here, watching.
Probably someone who's lost.
On our tower.
What better place to see his way home?
No, he had other intentions. We must go and call the police.
Oh, the bailiff is so blind, he never knows what he sees. I go and look myself.
No, you can't.
Don't worry, miss. Nothing happens here. Come on, hurry down. It'll be dark soon.
She locked the doors and bolted the windows. But locks and bolts cannot keep all things at bay. So she maintained her guard against the intruder she feared was more than just the traveler who'd lost his way home, like Madame Gross had said.
It's nice having you here, Miss Jenny. going to say that?
It's nice being here with you, too.
Thank you, Miss Jenny.
Stay there.
What did he look like?
He had blonde hair. And he was wearing a white ruffled shirt. And he had earrings. He was wearing earrings. And a beard.
What?
Do you know him?
Go on.
His eyes were really intense. Like a criminal.
It sounds like Quint.
Well, that's a relief. I mean, if we think we know who it is, we'll simply call the
Miss
police.
Jenny, you won't be calling the authorities about Quint because he's dead.
He's dead.
Quint is dead?
It's impossible if I just...
It's true.
How did he die?
One night last winter, they found him on the road from the pub, stone dead. His skull was smashed in.
Was he murdered?
They say it slipped on the ice, but who knows? Nobody liked him. Except the master, of course. And Miles. I go to see the children, and I bring you a hot drink with a little something for the constitution. Yours and mine. That's the second time I frightened you.
Oh, yes. Oh, my... Thank you.
What is it, miss?
When you see something that every rule of logic tells you shouldn't be there, that it is, you start to question yourself.
That's a good thing.
Is it? No.
Just a drop.
I must be clear, always. For the children.
Oh, yes.
And I have to tuck them in.
For the children. Always for the children.
And for you, too.
Well, rules of logic could seem a weak defense in protecting children against things that defied the very laws of nature. Those things supernatural.
That's why I'm here.
But someone like Jenny Gooding had few other weapons with which to fight such a battle.
Inside the house?
It's gone again. I must go under the bed. Or... There must be a secret panel.
The house is old enough. Come and sleep in my room. I clean that in the morning.
No. Leave it tonight. I'll be fine.
Are you sure?
Yes, really. Thank you. It won't happen again.
Good.
She tried to shut out the idea of the visitors, like a child that closes its eyes to the world, thinking it's gone away. She'd keep them at a distance, believing they'd never been there in the first place. And for a while, it seemed to work. For a while.
Let's watch him burn his black as pitch. Ah!
Miles, come here.
Jenny, go on, you can. Miss Jenny doesn't like kissing, does she, Miles? Wait for me, Mum. Wait for me, Mum.
The children, of course, were always her principal concern, and teaching them as one proved more and more difficult. Such were the differences between them. From Miss Proudfoot's leaf dance to lessons about history and far-off places, Miles seemed happiest when by himself, or with Flora when he chose to tolerate her.
Arms out wide.
It's too early for dinner. Why can't we go outside and play?
I'll play some music for you.
But I already know how to play.
The sense of prodigy in the child was great, and Jenny was often startled to discover some new skill or talent the boy kept hidden, raising questions as to the identity of his past teachers
Good, Miss Jenny.
and the range of lessons they taught.
What's Madam Close doing outside?
She tried to keep the holidays in typical form, but she found it difficult to keep a child entertained when there was rarely more than an audience of one, or occasionally two.
You have your coconuts?
Yes.
Right. Open the curtains.
Okay.
All right, open the curtains now. And now for you, a simple story of folks in times still simpler. A damsel she was in days gone by.
Oopsie.
That's quite enough costume, thank you, Flora.
A damsel to please her, by and by. She showed me what would please her next. So I did what man does best.
Miles, stop that! Don't you have a magic trick or something you could do instead?
Yes, miss!
Isn't it like a child? 1 minute the world is horrible and the next it's pure joy.
If only it were that simple for us.
It is for me, sometimes.
Let me help you.
Don't touch!
I like their little shows.
Flora, hurry up.
Flora, I told you I've made 1 costume, not 2.
Yes, Madam Close.
Flora!
It's part of the show, miss.
Flora, are you all right? Answer me this minute or I'll open it.
You're spoiling the trick.
That Miss Jenny. In you go again.
Don't do that again, Miss Jenny.
Miles, stop that! No, absolutely not. Madame Cruz, please.
No knives, Miles. Put them away. Any more for the trick?
Only the disappearing bit.
Then do it.
All right.
Make sure they're watching.
Now, open it up.
But I haven't said the magic words yet.
We'll say them now.
All right. Oh, spirits of the secret place, that other time that other space. Make your magic pass my way to make my sister go away. Ta-da! Thank you, thank you.
Yes, very good, Miles. Now, where is she?
I don't know.
Miles spirited away my cat once. Took me 2 days to find her.
2 days.
She'll be hiding in his room for a little while, just to make the trick better. Go and look, if you don't believe me.
Flora? Miles, you really must tidy your room. Flora?
Cecil used to teach us here. Why can't we study here? Can I give it to him?
To whom?
By Miles, of course.
Flora, no more of these things. All these secrets and magic tricks. It has to end.
Yes, Miss Jenny.
Come on. And we will have lessons by the pond, I promise. And the sea at the bottom of which these scrolls lie gave them their name. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Flora, are you paying attention?
Yes, Miss Jenny. Is there anything at the bottom of our pond?
Oh, I suspect so.
And are they dead?
Probably, yes.
What kind of creatures are there?
Snakes, snails. Maybe a poor old turtle.
She was standing over there?
Yes, just over there, on those rocks.
And she was someone you never saw before?
Never. But someone Flora has. Perhaps someone you have.
Who could that be?
My predecessor.
Oh, you English. You see ghosts everywhere.
You don't believe me.
I hope you can understand my difficulty.
Well, then ask Flora. She saw. On second thoughts, don't. She'll only lie and say she didn't. The more I see, the more I fear.
That you'll see them again?
That the children know. I think they hide it.
Oh, miss, what are you saying now?
You must tell me. What went on between them and the children?
I told you, children's games. Nothing more.
If you'd seen the look in their eyes, you'd know that games were the last thing on their minds.
You give me the shivers, miss.
What went on with Quint and Miss Jessel?
I don't know what you mean, miss.
Yes, you do.
I mind my own business.
But she was a governess, and him so...
Then she paid for it, miss, if it makes you feel any better.
Don't you see? First it's Quint, and now she's back too.
Can't be.
Well, then how did I know it was her?
A woman in black is what you saw, if you saw anything.
She wished her father were still alive. Being the strict preacher that he was, he would understand how to mix discipline with understanding. But he wasn't there. And so...
saw someone walking in the garden.
Where's Miles?
I don't know.
Now tell me, why are you out here?
Just for this.
For what?
So you think I was a bad boy.
So I think you were bad.
Ow!
And who else did you plan this little game with, young man?
Why, with Flora, of course.
And with no one else?
Who else could that be? Flora!
That's the kind of behavior he must have shown them at school. Weep.
Stir.
I see it clearly now. The four of them meet constantly.
4 of them.
You know, this may sound strange, but what I've seen has actually made things clearer.
What things?
The children's goodness is a fraud.
How can you speak of little children that way?
Oh, it's not them. They're gone. Don't you see? They're not ours anymore. They're Quint and Miss Jessel's, and they're back to continue their evil ways.
Maybe these evil ways are just in your head.
Madame Gauss, I'm just thinking of the children's welfare.
And supposing they did come back, what could they do now?
Whatever it is, we must prevent it.
If there's any preventing to be done, it must be done by their uncle.
You expect me to call him and say that his house is haunted by ghosts?
He doesn't care much about the house or the children. Wish we had a full-time gun.
But surely he must care.
About what, miss?
The fact that Miles and Flora are going mad.
Are they? Scouts never go well here.
Madame Gross, we must tend to this situation. Please.
So I can call him if you like.
You'll do no such thing.
Why?
Because he put me in charge.
Of course. Go get some water.
Dear Claire, I'm faced with a phenomenon for which I have no counsel. In fact,
if you weren't such a trusted friend, I'd fear making these admissions. I believe we are under invasion, not by thieves or bandits, but by the ghosts of a past infernal association. My predecessor and her lover.
Look! Miss Jenny, look at me! Miss Jenny, Miss Grace, look! Pourquoi, Jenny? Elle est triste.
Oh, c'est pas grave, elle est juste un petit peu fatiguée.
What did he just say?
He's wondering if you feel all right.
Of course he is. Quint and the boy, were they always together?
Inseparable. Except when he was with Miss Jessel.
And you never tried to stop it?
No.
But you knew what kind of man Quint was.
I did try once to warn the boy about Quint. But the way he answered me was the first bad thing he ever did.
You mean Miles spoke back to you?
He told Quint what I said.
He repeated your words? And what did Quint do?
Struck me.
Oh, but that's dreadful. And you never reported any of this to Mr. Cooper?
Quint would have had me fight.
You've been given that much authority here?
Yes, miss. Just like you now.
That night, she dreamed. Again, things she did not want to know.
I help you? Why are you so dark on such a nice Sunday?
I've been very preoccupied.
Too preoccupied to even ask you a question?
Go on.
When will I be going back to school?
Don't you think I teach you well enough, Miles?
Yes, but I think it's odd for a boy like me to always be with women. Don't you?
Miles, I must say that there aren't many boys like you.
I have been good, haven't I? Well, except for that one night.
It's not your goodness that principally concerns me.
Then is it Flora's?
No, it's not Flora's.
Miss Jenny? Does my uncle know?
Know what?
What's happening to me?
He's a very busy man.
But I want him to come here.
Well, he can't.
Then I'll make him.
Now, wait a minute.
It's clear that you're not able to solve my problem. I want a real teacher. So, that's how you teach me.
Miles, I'm sorry.
what happened to you this time?
Didn't Miles tell you?
Not a word.
Came back here to meet a friend.
A friend?
Came home for a talk with Miss Jessel.
And what did she say?
That she won't share the children.
With you?
With anyone. So I've made up my mind. I've decided to demand that Mr. Cooper come here.
At last.
I mean, after all, it's his fault if he left them with people like Quint.
No, it's my fault. I lived with them and I said nothing.
If only I knew what to say to be sure that he'll come.
Uncle Cooper. Uncle Cooper. He couldn't help her. He needed someone to help him.
She must have done something.
She did. She decided to write a letter to cover her position in the future.
Have you written, miss?
The gardener comes tomorrow, doesn't he?
Yes, miss. Be posted.
Sleep overcame her easily, but she tried to prevent it, to keep her guard. She no longer trusted anyone. Even thoughts of her father were veiled with suspicion and sometimes even anger and remorse.
Finished.
Miss Flora.
She'll be at the pond where we saw Miss Jessel.
You mean when you saw her?
And Flora pretended not to see.
Oh, my poor French shoes.
Madame Grosse, please!
A little child alone in the rain.
She's not alone. And at times like these, she's not a child.
Oh, good grief.
Where's your coat, Miss Jenny?
Where's yours, Flora?
Where's Miles?
I'll tell you if you tell me.
Tell you what?
Where, my dear girl, is Miss Jessel?
Oh, me, so could you?
But she's there! She's there! Don't you see? She's there, you wretched child! And you know it as well as I do!
That's insane! What on earth do you see?
Cold mud. Take me in.
But she's as big as a blazing fire! Look, you stupid woman! Look at her! Look at her!
She's not there, Flora. How could she be there when your poor Miss Jessel is dead and buried?
Flora! Flora, tell her what you see!
I'm taking in and I got take you Flora! Take me away from her!
From Miss Jessel? What is Miss Jessel saying?
It's Flora!
Please!
Stop! Right now!
Madame Grosse!
I promise you will never go back again. Please.
Never had she felt so damp and cold and dirty. She bathed for hours and hours, but the dirt and mud seemed immovable, clinging to her skin, face and hair. She washed till her skin turned raw, yet she still felt unclean, and feared that she might never be clean again.
Yes? It's Flora. She's very ill.
God.
She's having a horrible time.
Flora will never speak to me again.
I'm afraid you're right, miss.
I'll use her against me.
What?
She'll have Flora make Mr. Cooper believe that I'm the villain here.
I should tell you, miss, I called him myself.
Did you? But I'm in charge here.
Yes, but the master said I'm to take Flora to a doctor in London. He's coming here to see you and Miles and decide what should be done.
You did the right thing. Flora has to be taken away. To leave me with my plan.
Your plan, miss?
Miles wants to speak. He came here today and sat with me for hours.
And what did he say?
Nothing. But he will. I just need a little more time.
More time?
Just till his uncle arrives.
The masters say you're still in charge until he arrives. But if any harm comes to Miles...
Let him, Bruce. I'd sooner harm myself.
Be careful that doesn't happen either.
Jenny did not dream that night, for she did not sleep. She kept a vigil as Flora's screams and wailings continued, praying till dawn came. She remembered a favorite passage. Though there be cries in the night, joy comes in the morning. The cries continued through the night, but she had little hope of joy the next morning.
Flora got worse and worse through the night.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Don't you see? It's proof. What she said couldn't possibly have come from a child.
That's for sure.
Then you believe me.
I believe something unnatural happened here. I'm just not sure what.
By the time we get to London, my letter will have reached Mr. Cooper.
No, it won't.
What?
It wasn't here last night when I came back with Flora.
Then Miles took it.
He stole it? Do you think that's what he did at school?
He'll confess. And if he confesses,
And then you are too? I leave you now. But remember that children are nothing more than flowers, capable of being hurt by anything heavier than two.
Madame Gross, I wouldn't hurt the children. I was only protecting them. Surely you realize that.
I'm not sure of anything now. Where is Miles? I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to him.
He went out. He's been gone since morning. But I'll say goodbye to him from you.
Of course. God bless you.
She wandered an hour or so around the place, waiting, preparing for a battle she knew would come. She just wasn't certain with whom. A little boy, a thing that was once a man, or maybe something else.
Can you help me?
How long have you been?
Enough to know you snore.
Oh, Miles. Your hand is bleeding.
I cut it.
Come here, let me look at it.
No. I thought you'd still be here.
What were you doing outside?
Watching Madame Gross leave. And other things.
What other things?
Watching you. Is she dead?
No. No. Flora just needed to get away from here.
Well, so we're alone.
Not completely. We have the others.
They don't count, do they?
Depends on whom you're referring.
Well, like Mrs. Gross and the gardener.
But they've gone for good, Miles.
Oh.
What are you thinking?
How much I like this place.
These past hours, you've had time to explore every corner of it.
And I have.
Do you like everything you've seen?
Do you?
Why is that?
Well, if we're alone at Bly now, it's important that you like it too. For you're going to be alone most of all.
When?
When I go back to school, of course. I hope you don't mind me leaving you now.
I realized a long time ago that I have no claim on you.
Who put the piano against the door?
Do you remember that night on your bed when I told you there was nothing I wouldn't do for you?
I think that was to get me to tell you something.
But you never did.
And is that what you stayed for?
Precisely.
And you want to hear it now?
Couldn't be a better time. You want to go out again, don't you?
Awfully.
Well, I'll let you out. But not until you tell me what I need to know.
I'll tell you everything. But not now.
Why not?
I can't.
Why don't you tell me if yesterday you took my letter from the hall table? In fact, if you've taken all my letters. Tell me, Miles. It's important.
Yes, I took them.
You took them. And then what did you do with them?
Burnt them.
Is that what you did at school? Did you steal things?
What?
Is that why they wouldn't have you back?
You know that?
I know everything, except why they expelled you. Now tell me, what did you do? Please. We don't have much time.
I said things.
And to whom did you say them?
To the other boys.
All of them?
Only two. I don't remember their names.
So many?
No, only those I've liked. Please, why are you doing this to me?
No! No more, you monster!
Where is he?
Stop seeing whatever, Miles. You still want to see him, don't you?
Who?
Say it, Miles. Say his name and banish him forever! Say it, Miles! Say his name!
He hit her. Again. And again. Like a little animal, he tried to save himself from a thing he might have once loved.
Was there blood?
Much of it. And curiously, the loss of it seemed to give her the strength she needed, creating a state of alarm that the boy might perhaps be innocent. And if that were the case, then what in God's name was she?
Say it, Miles! Tell me his name! Tell me his name! Tell me his name! Say it, Miles! Tell me his name!
Peter Quinn! Why Peter Quinn? You done it!
Where is he? He is. But he can't have you now. He's lost you forever. You're mine!
Where is he?
It's all right. You're free. At last, we're free.
I don't know what happened to her. They never told me. I was so little. All I have is this diary. Like I told you.
Are you sure this really happened?
In this very room. In this very house.
St. Margaret's Hospital?
It was called Bly House then. We scratched our names in the walls over there. Go and look if you don't believe me.
Were there really ghosts? Do you remember?
So you can't confirm anything?
Only that she did it. She killed my brother.
To save him?
I don't know. I don't know. I remember nothing.